to do and go and do that. You, because before you know it, you're gonna be dead. Aren't you? And you know that I know that you know it's the truth. Come on, get up. Do you, please? Thank you. Hello, my people. How's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Do You? With me, Reuben Christian, a presenter and comic based in London, working really hard to get out of the hood, to one day have a salmon breakfast. I've nearly had a salmon breakfast, but they realised that it wasn't actually my order. I just said yes when they walked past. I said, yeah, that's for me. Then they realised it wasn't for me. It was for Gertrude, some woman across the side of the table. And they gave me the toast, my regular. But life's going to change, and this is one of the reasons I'm working towards a massive change in my life. If you're new to the show, Do You is a series of uncensored conversations with people that are doing what they love in order to keep me inspired. That was the aim initially, to keep me inspired and hopefully in turn inspire the listeners, regardless of where you're from, who you are and what you're doing in your life. Everyone I speak to are very proactive. They're what I call doers, people that get up, attack fears, take chances and work towards what they believe they should be doing with their life. And we talk about their journey, what inspires them, their trials and tribulations, and we take their energy, their optimism, their lessons, and we put it into our head, and we all power up and become super doers to add value to the world and those around us. Because when we watch the news, all we hear about is death, rape, murder, death, and sad animals that need sponsoring, which is happening in the world, but there's only so much we can take before we start becoming one of those people. Giving out those bad vibes, man. You see me there? Today's guest is another friend of mine. Her name's AKANBI. She's a celebrity stylist. On Twitter, she goes by the Garment Composer. You can check her stuff out online. Her Twitter handle is AKANBI. It's AYISHAT_AKANBI. Aisha_Akanbi on Twitter. And her Tumblr is aishaakanbi.tumblr.com. aishaakanbi.tumblr.com. Aisha's been a celebrity stylist, and she's the person part responsible for the aesthetic of Labrinth, the super talented singer. She's worked with a lot of other celebrities other than Labrinth, but she's also done some work with JLS. I'm sure you know JLS, remember those guys. But she was very prominent in Labrinth's career. I remember that. We talk about what she's doing as a stylist, how she started off without any training, just committing to an idea, going out and doing it and learning along the way, which I'm a massive fan of. And we talk about a shift in her mindset. This is an interesting interview, by the way. It's similar to the one I done with Courtney Edwards, Mr. C, who's a director and producer, oh my gosh, English. I still, I don't know what episode this is, probably about 16 or 17, and I still can't speak English. Newham. Newham does this to you. My gosh. But yeah, the majority of this interview was quite spiritual. Aisha has a massive spiritual mind and is continuously learning about that stuff and trying to put what she's learning back into her ethos in life in general and her work. So we'll kind of see that materialize as she progresses in her career. Now, if you want to find any of my stuff, it's reubenchristian.com, REUBEN Christian spelt like the religion.com, and all my social handles, that's Twitter, Twitter mainly actually, is /Reuben Christian, other than Instagram, which is Reuben Christian 1. Now to hear out, just breathe, Reuben. Please, man. Please, just breathe. Don't you? What are you hearing out? You're not hearing out anything. To hear more. There you go. Sorry, I've got beef with myself. Every day I have beef with myself. I look in the mirror and say, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at me like that? Brush your teeth. You stink. Clear that eye shit out of your eye. Why is your nose dripping? You still have no hair. Of course you still have no hair, because it's not going to grow back. These are the conversations I have with myself. Every day. 28 times a day. Every time I pass a reflection, this internal monologue happens. Now, if you want to check out more of these interviews on SoundCloud, it's soundcloud.com/Reuben, REUBEN Christian, Christian spelt like the religion. Check out all those interviews. They're all there. They're timeless. There's always something we can learn from every single one of them. And if you did like any of them, again, I am trying to build an audience, and we are trying to put out some beautiful vibes to the world so that other people can be happy by finding their callings. Please do share the stuff. Now, here's my ear. Yeah, of course. Here's my ear, Reuben. Here's my interview with Ayishat. I hope you take something away from it. Baby, yeah. Oh. Word up. Do you find out what you're here to do and go and do that? You, because before you know it, you're gonna be dead. I think our levels are set, and we are ready to roll, I believe. Imagine this though. Imagine when I do these, right? It's usually me that starts the conversation off.
Oh, really?
But just for fun, how about you start the interview off?
I start
on anything. I don't care.
Okay, cool. How are you? We haven't actually seen each other in a long time, so you're good, right?
I'm not too bad.
You're not too bad.
See, that was an interesting way of asking me a question, by asking me the question and then giving me an answer to kind of lead off.
Yeah.
Why do people do that? You're good, right? It's like,
I'm pretty good.
Do you want the answer or are you giving it?
This is the thing. We were just talking about it in the car. Like, you know, when you ask someone how they are, but you don't really care. It's just kind of, it's a
nicety.
It's a nicety. It's a pleasantry that we just kind of all do. We just want to hear that you're fine so we can quickly move on.
To talk about us.
Exactly. So these days, if I genuinely want to know like how someone is, I'll say, how are you feeling? So how are you feeling, Reuben?
How am I feeling? All right. There's numerous ways I can answer this question. Right now, I'm feeling good. Okay. Because I'm here speaking to you.
Amazing.
Which I wanted to do. You're one of many people I've been looking forward to speaking to. And also I'm happy because of that. It's because this is what I believe I should be doing right now of my life. And so when I'm doing it, I'm happy. It's like when I'm on stage, I'm happy. Preparing to be on stage or trying to hustle the next stage I'm getting on is a bit irritating. But when you're on it, so like this is my stage. This is what I should be doing. So right now I'm good, man.
You're in your element.
I'm in my element, man. How about you? How are you?
I am okay. I'm a little bit tired today. I went to bed really late. But apart from that, I'm good. Like, after this, I'm going to hunt and I'm going to try and find some DJ decks. I've just kind of decided that.
Yes, Christmas Eve, by the way, when we're recording this. Eve. We don't stop out here.
And I've just decided, you know what, there's certain things that I wanted to do when I was younger. And now I'm just going to do them. I think when you're young and all the things that you want to do, I think that's your real you speaking. And as you get older, you get all these sort of programs. So you learn fear, you learn like anticipation and all of these things. And you just kind of you don't do what you're meant to do. So now I'm going to do what I'm meant to do.
Why do you think you didn't do what you were meant to do?
I think it's a combination of things. I think growing up and, you know, hormones kicking in, you start liking boys or maybe girls, or you just, I think it's a, sorry, Reuben. You're going to edit these things though, aren't you?
No, man.
Oh, they just roll out
we're
like
just
this.
rolling out.
Oh, okay.
This is uncensored freeform discussion,
uncensored
man.
freeform.
Yeah,
I think
it's a good thing. So it's like unplanned.
Unplanned.
If you ever want to repeat what you're saying, then do it, man. Because I might repeat a question. Because I know I chat a lot of shit.
Okay.
And it never comes out right. Because life isn't rehearsed, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. So basically what I'm saying is I think the reason why I didn't do what I was supposed to do is because I think you learn a lot of fear as you grow older. And what I've sort of realised is that you're born, and, you know, you learn things to unlearn things to then relearn.
Yeah.
You know?
But then we only, sorry to cut you, we only unlearn once we're aware that what we've learned is hot shit.
Hot bollocks. So now I'm sort of removing the bollocks.
Yeah.
And just kind
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Oh, there's definitely a joke. And just sort of returning back to who I was going to be before the world told me who I should be.
Yeah, man. That's beautiful, man. How long have you been on the path to discover this?
This path of discovery. I think it's probably been about 2.5 years consciously. I think unconsciously it's always been there, but I think you do a lot of things to suppress it. You know, I think a lot of people live their lives in order to make other people feel comfortable. And so a few things happened in my life that really just made me think, and I was just like, life is way too long to kind of live in this prison of what other people think. And
way too long or way too short?
I think it's way too long as well. They say life is short, but it's kind of like the longest thing we'll ever know.
So, do you know what? Beautiful statement. You're so true. It's the longest thing we will ever
know. Like, it's long.
Well, for what's been reported.
Exactly. So it's long in the sense of in terms of actual time and length, and then even colloquially it's just long sometimes, you know what I mean? Keeping up a pretense all your life or a facade is long, and so I don't want to do that. So yeah, no, right now I think it's just about returning to your younger self.
Yeah. Yeah. So your inner child,
yeah, that kid,
so relighting it.
Exactly, yeah, that child I don't think ever dies. I think we're all big kids. We just sort of learn how to act in public. Yeah. That's all what happens when we get older. We're still kids, but now we're just more aware of like the social pressures and the formalities that make people feel nice.
Yeah, maybe that's why people drink as well, because it gives them license to just be idiotic and childish.
Yeah, I think that's why we all have our vices. You know, I think whether that be, and they're not all in the sense of like, I don't know, a substance, but whether that be books, whether that be writing, whether that be alcohol or smoking weed, I think we all need that thing that helps us to release, where we become who we really are. Yeah.
Do you feel that you need as many vices as you used to in order to get to that place now?
No, I think I need a lot less, but interestingly, what I found is I need myself more than I ever have. So solitude now is really important for me. Whereas before it was quite difficult to be alone, or you just kind of thought, why am I alone? Like, I'm young, I should be out, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. But now I make time for solitude. Yeah. So when I say, if someone says, oh, what are you up to today? And I say, I'm not doing anything. That doesn't mean I'm free. That means I am doing nothing. This is conscious. Yeah. Nothingness
time.
This is conscious time for me. So yeah, my vices have changed. I need me more.
No, I know, I've noticed as well. It's like when we used to work together on Indiv, we all grow, but you are a totally different person in comparison to who you are now. There's still elements of the old you. You know what I mean? You're still making the majority of your living, I believe, by being a stylist and doing your job well. But your output and the way you speak and the way you look at things have changed. Could we say it's more conscious now?
Yeah, I kind of think, without being too new agey, I think we all need to be conscious, because if I'm conscious, does that mean that other people are unconscious? Are we living our lives unconsciously? Probably.
I think, I believe there are a lot of people that don't. Yeah. If we're talking about knowing ourselves, I'm not saying I totally do. Yeah, of course it's a non-stop work in progress till death, right? But I'm working at it. But I know there's a load of people that are not even aware that they're someone else. Yeah. That they are actually not who they are.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're very right. And so, my thing, or the best advice I think for anybody is just to make conscious decisions. So everything you do, everything you say, everything you think, try and understand the root cause. So yeah, I would say I've made the effort to be more conscious in my actions, in my thoughts, and what I'm putting out there. Things like Twitter and Facebook and all these social networks that we have, they're an amazing platform, I think, if we use them consciously. Here is the ability to speak to everybody in the world. This is your say. You can say anything you want. Like, why wouldn't you want those words or whatever, or your pictures or whatever it is that you're putting out to resonate with someone, to learn something? I'm kind of the school of thought now that if we're going to talk, please allow me to get something. Otherwise, there's no point in talking,
Please allow you to gain something.
Yeah, as in learn something or understand something. Let it be an honest conversation. Let it be open. Even if it's like I've learned a lot of power in vulnerability and just get rid of the pretense. I think conversation should be enriching.
Miguel said that in an interview as well. Really? About being an artist and making music. In order to be, let's say, successful in your mind as an artist, happy with what you're putting out there, you need to totally be vulnerable. You need to let go. You need to create rather than trying to put barriers on what you're doing.
100%.
In the creative process. And then maybe you can like, I don't know, add the icing. Is that your phone? Answer it if you need to.
No, it's fine.
Add the icing later on. But when you're in a creative moment, especially when it comes to creating, just create and go wild.
100%.
Just go fucking mad.
I agree with that. And I think the best pieces of art...
That is your phone, right?
It is my phone. But I always kind of ignore it anyway, to be fair. I don't know. I don't even... Oh, no,
does it notify you for every single thing? Twitter, Facebook?
Everything.
Why do you turn it off? I'll go mad.
I do go mad. Like, I find sometimes I leave my house without my phone often just to kind of check that I still have signal in the inside, you know, because like there are so many people that say stuff like, oh my God, I can't live without my phone. Or if I didn't have my phone, I would die. Like,
but you
think
won't,
of
you know?
that.
Yeah.
You know, like,
You
think
won't,
of that.
bro.
I will die. I can't be without my phone. Like, we have moved so far from everything that, I don't know, we should feel. So, no, I often ignore it. So we can keep ignoring it.
Do you know what that reminds me, right? That was when I went to first ever festival I went was Big Chill. I went with my friend Jess Nix.
Yeah.
She's a music blogger and just an all-round fucking G. She brought me to my first festival. I got there, day one, I didn't bring my watch and my phone died before I put up the tent, and we're there for 3 days. So I'm panicking. I'm like, shit, how am I going to contact the outside world? But after the first night, it was like, okay, cool. This is actually fun. This is freedom. And so I went through the next 3 days at the festival with no contact with the outside world, no concept of time.
Oh my gosh.
I tell you what, Aish, do you know how great it was?
I can imagine.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously live in a world where we need to be aware of this because we coexist as opposed to exist with the rest of humanity. But still, now people should try it, man.
Definitely. I'd suggest that. Every now and then, go out by yourself without your phone.
No watch. Just
no watch,
roll.
nothing. Just roll. Like, just be. Do what everyone else apart from humans does. They're not conscious of time. We're the only beings.
Dog, man.
Yeah, be a dog. Be a fucking dog,
man. Piss on a tree,
yeah,
man.
literally.
Have you pissed against a tree ever in your life?
Probably. I think I did it actually last week or something like
Is
that.
it?
Yeah, I came out of a club. It was late. I was tired, and the tree was the closest thing, and I felt good.
Was it outside the entrance?
No, I had to go around the corner because I thought that might be just a little too much.
Yeah. There's some considerations.
Yeah, some considerations.
I remember when I went camping when I was younger, Cub Scouts. I needed to drop bombs, as in number 2.
Okay.
So our Kayla, who was leading, I said, yeah, there's a tree over there, and here's a leaf. So I wiped my bum with a leaf full of ants.
Wow. But did you feel connected to nature?
Well, the ants were definitely connected to my bum.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well.
Yeah. So in that essence, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Well.
But it was scary, and it was it was stingy, man.
It was stingy. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you've lived to tell the tale.
Real talk, innit? It's an experience out of the box that I have that many others don't. So if they want to catch up, shit against a tree and wipe your bum with a leaf.
Come speak to Reuben. He can tell you all about that.
I will let you know. All right, Aish, we haven't talked at all about styling, which is beautiful. And to be honest, I reckon you and I could have had this conversation and you not bring up styling at all.
Definitely.
And just leave.
Probably.
Which is an interesting thing to me.
Yeah.
Now, you seem like a very consciously aware stylist, which to me and my limited knowledge of the industry kind of goes against the idea of celebrity-based styling.
Okay.
Because as you said, the celebrity world is quite fickle. How do you not slit your wrists every other Tuesday, man?
Oh, gosh. No, I mean, because I see the job differently. I don't see myself as a fashion stylist. I see myself as someone who can help change perceptions. And so when I got into styling in general, it wasn't to make everyone super fashionable or something that people idolize to be like. It was to sort of allow the artists that I was working with to feel infinite and limitless and like they could do anything. I remember when I started dressing myself differently, or I wanted to express myself truly, I realized that people started giving me all this attention, people who would never normally. They started asking me what I did. All of a sudden, everyone was interested and thought that I had to have a creative job. And I thought, wow, all I've done is change my clothes and now people want to talk to me and offer me things. Yeah. This is insane.
Yeah.
But
let me write this.
Yeah, but this is all you have to do. Literally, all you have to do is kind of, I don't know, give them something that's beyond their sort of stereotypes. And all of a sudden, you're just put in this different box. And I thought, that's amazing. Imagine if I could help give that to people, allow the perception to change, you know, because when we think about black music here in the UK, it doesn't have the same, it's not the same way that we look at black music in America, where it has a look. If you think about hip hop, it has a look that you can identify. And if you think about dancehall music, it has a look that you can identify. But when it comes to the London scene, it was just a bit fuzzy in my head. And so I wanted to create a look for the London quote unquote urban scene. I hate that word urban because I still don't know what it means. Yeah. I think it means black. But anyway, I wanted to create a look for the urban scene that could stand up in its own right, that wasn't sort of copying what Americans were doing, that was giving us our own aesthetic that would be something that people would be interested in, you know, because I felt like it was the aesthetic that was letting it down. With Americans, when it comes to music, it's very desirable, everything's very glossy, and, you know, people want that. But here, I don't think we had anything that was attracting the attention. Yeah.
And so that's why you took quite a sartorial stance.
Yeah, I think so.
Styling,
yeah.
like with Labrinth and
I
stuff.
think with Labrinth, like, you know, I love styling Labrinth, and he was my first client and stuff like that. But when I think about it sometimes, I don't necessarily think what I did was revolutionary with him. I think I dressed a black boy in a way that audiences weren't used to.
Seeing a black boy dressing.
Yeah, seeing a black boy dressing. Yeah, within the media. He was just in a suit. He dresses in the same way that many white artists do, but because he was black, the perception was different. And that's all it is. It's just kind of asking people to not think about artists as one thing. It still doesn't necessarily always work. I mean, the Sun newspaper, or the Daily Mail, they'll still refer to Labrinth as a rapper.
Do they refer to him as a rapper?
Yeah, they refer to him as a rapper, and that's not something he does. So as much as you do try and change the perceptions, things still happen. And you see now why it was important for me, because of these things keep happening. Why are you calling him a rapper when Let the Sun Shine and Beneath You're Beautiful?
He's a singer-songwriter,
exactly.
Right? Singer-songwriter and producer.
Yeah, singing is definitely his thing. You know, his last single was most definitely a ballad. So where this rap comes from, I think it can only be, you know, his complexion.
You think so?
I think so. Like,
could it not be the limited mind of one journalist?
I don't know, but a few people do it. A few people do it, and it's not even just Labrinth. There's other artists as well. I remember, I think one time, Lab told me that they called Laura Mvula a rapper. You know, I don't know if
really? From Basement Jaxx?
No, Laura Mvula is
Mvula. Sorry,
yes.
So I thought you said Vula.
No, so she is almost like she's a singer that is. Her music is so classic. It's almost operatic. You know what I mean? Like, it's enchanting. Yeah. It's far from rap music. Yeah. So I don't know. For me, when it comes to styling, it's just all about changing perceptions.
And you do a good job of it. You do a really good job of it. And what was, to me, has always been interesting about you, right, is that you haven't, as far as I know, had any formal training in this shit.
No, yeah.
You didn't go the route that everyone in the industry says people should. Now, when I started off, before I started off individualism with Aaron, I was interested in styling, so I gave it a shot. And when I was doing my research, they said, Reuben, you need to go out and you need to shadow a stylist for about 2-3 years for free before you do that. Did you even shadow anyone? How the hell did you make Labrinth your first client?
I think I almost spoke it into my life, I think. And I think from a very, very young age, and a lot of people that I meet who are doing jobs that they want to do, who are working for themselves, I always try and find that thing that unifies those people. Like, how come you did it and other people want to and they're not able to? And what I often find the common thread between those people is, when they were children, they never thought it was going to be any different, you know. And I didn't have any other options. When it came to Labrinth, I did meet him before he was famous, before he was anybody like that. But also, when I think it's something you love and something you're passionate about, you don't have to study it. And especially with something like clothes, it's visual. My study is life. The fact that I have vision, I can see things, I can see people, I can see when someone's dressed like that, how someone responds to them, or when they're dressed like that, how that makes people feel, or even my own self. Like, when I meet people who are dressed a certain way, how do I feel? You know, what are my conclusions or the stereotypes and things like that I make of them? So I think the things with styling, I think it's you can always learn. As long as people are dressed, I'm always learning. So I feel like I've been in training my whole life.
As long as people are dressed.
Yeah, I've been in training my whole life. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just like you know, like acting or singing or being a DJ or producer. Like a lot of the greats haven't studied that. You know, it's a feeling. You know, sometimes I think you need to forget your mind and find your heart.
Yeah, so kind of be.
Yeah.
Did you always want to style?
At least from when I was about 16, yes, I have done. I watched the MIA video and it moved me.
Which one?
Galang was her first ever song.
Oh, the one with the elephants in the water.
I don't know with the elephants. I think it was just really colourful. It was really like, I don't know, it reminded me of the 80s, and it was just a lot of flash imagery, and I just loved what she was wearing and just the sound and the fact that she wasn't really singing, but she wasn't rapping. What was she doing? I just didn't get it. It just it made me feel a certain way that I hadn't felt, and I knew at that time that I was going to be a stylist. So yeah, I did shadow someone actually. I shadowed someone for about 3 weeks. I ended up getting sacked. Yeah.
A lot of people I've spoke to have been sacked or walked out.
I got sacked, and that kind of bummed me out. But then at the same time,
why did you get sacked? Angela?
I got sacked because
you robbing clothes.
I know I wasn't moving fast enough. I think I must have blagged a little bit and said that I'd done what he needed before, what he needed me to do. I think I said that I'd done it before, and after a while of working with me, I think he could tell that I hadn't, because maybe I wasn't doing it at the speed that he wanted me to, and so he ended up sacking me.
Was this a stylist? Or
yes,
was
it was
this
a stylist.
PR company?
It was a stylist, and he's a good friend of mine now. I'd say he's my mentor.
Yeah.
And I was pretty bummed out, but then I thought, you know what? Actually, like, I've met people. I've seen how he does it. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
And then about 6 months later, I had an office next door to his, and it really just happened from there.
Yeah. Right. This whole, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
What were your, so the first thing was a conscious commitment in your mind, right? So clear vision, commitment. Now, did you put pen to paper in regard to plans? Did you ring the first person you know? Did you ring a PR for clothes? Did you look for a client? What's the first moves?
I don't know. I have ADD and dyslexia.
Yeah.
So like,
I think I have both as well. I think I do.
So my mind is just a mess, basically. Yeah. Like, I'm really scatty. Even up until now, I don't really write things down as such. But in my mind, there was just no other option. It was like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I didn't have a second option. It didn't cross my mind. So this had to work out some way. And I think being honest with yourself as well, that helps you solidify decisions and makes you feel confident. I was honest with myself about why I believed I could do this. Basically, it was, I knew that I was coming with something different that I hadn't seen before. You know what I mean? And I think, even whether you want to write books, then write something that you want to read. You know what I mean? You just have to be the change that you want to see. That cliche thing that Gandhi says that really makes sense.
Yeah.
You just sort of have to do that. And you have to realize, I don't know, maybe this is weird, but I'm very conscious of death. Like, I'm very aware that we're dying.
Yeah, so am I.
And I'm
therefore there's urgency.
Yeah, I'm very
aware. Time to
exactly. And I think if people knew, or they were conscious of the fact that growing up is just a euphemism for dying, like
sprinting towards death.
Yeah, literally. If they were aware of that, if they could see the time as to when they were going to go, then you would take life more seriously and you'd have urgency.
It's true, right? If we all had a timeline and a date, a death date.
That's what we need, actually.
Yeah, but this is the odd thing about this, right? We all know we're going to die. And we don't know when. So in my mind, if we don't know when, I would say that's more urgency than actually knowing
exactly.
the death date. It's like, it could be tomorrow, but it could be after this interview, really.
Exactly, but I don't actually believe, as much as we all do know we're going to die, people are so afraid of it, they almost convince themselves that it's not happening, that it's not true, which is why when people die, we're so like, oh my God, like, of course, you're going to miss someone and it's fine to feel upset.
I can't believe this human being actually died.
Yeah, because we're running from it. But no, it's the truth. It's the only one inevitable thing that you can actually rely on. And so because I'm conscious of that, I guess I'm conscious of my contribution to the world, and I only believe that we're here to make a contribution, to leave it in a better place. Otherwise, there's no point in being here for me. Yeah,
you're very big on personal branding, I've noticed. As am I, as Aaron, a lot of people on the Indiv team. When you started off styling, was the focus contribution or was the focus building a personal brand? And maybe a little bit of ego in there, because
oh yeah, definitely. I was definitely fueled a lot by ego.
Shall I put the heating on? It's got cold a bit, hasn't it?
I don't mind. It's up to you. If you're cold, then put it on.
Let's put it on.
Okay, cool.
for a little while. Fan heater.
Okay,
My mum's paying for this
nice.
electricity,
Oh,
so it's
good,
all
good,
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 right?
good.
Yeah, let's go.
As long as it's not coming out of your pocket.
Yeah.
I think anybody who wants to put themselves in front of people, because there are a lot of stylists who do what I do, who dress celebrities, but not all of them seem to have a platform. Not all of them get interviewed, as we're doing here today. So I think that anybody who puts themselves on a public platform is often fueled by ego.
Yeah.
You know, because ego wants to be noticed. Ego wants attention. And so when I
Validation.
it wants validation. So when I first started, I think it was probably motivated by ego, by branding, and I just wanted to feel a market that I hadn't seen. You know, I didn't know of many stylists that looked like me, or any girls that were presenting themselves in a way that was similar to me, like, which is, I guess, maybe quite androgynous and non-gender specific. And I always, at the beginning, I always sort of wanted to be the Banksy of styling.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
a total anomaly.
Yeah, the way I saw it was kind of like, I'd love one day, I don't get to do it through my celebrity work because that's very different. Being a commercial stylist is very different to being a fashion stylist. But as a commercial stylist, my job is to sell a brand, essentially. I'm marketing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a marketing person. But when it comes to your own personal work and all of that, that's where I wanted the more Banksy elements to come alive. I wanted to make imagery that said things. So the focus in the back of my mind, it was always there that it has to be about something more than just looking cool for the sake of looking cool.
Yeah.
But at the time, you know, you get caught up, and I started dressing a lot of people, and I think I did get a bit lost. I think I did get a bit, you know, started to care about things like Instagram.
Yeah, man.
And started to care about followers and shit like that.
It's all part of the journey.
Yeah, but that's when I realized that I was getting lost, and I had to pull back. I had to, when I was honest with myself. And so yeah, it didn't start that way, but now that I've kind of grown up a bit and had to go through things, especially unpleasant things, there's nothing like, I don't know, going through, I don't know, things that are tragic to kind of put you on path and show you.
So it was external factors that forced you into the moment to look at your life.
Yeah, it was.
So whatever that was, did you just kind of realize that a lot of things around you is just absolute irrelevant crap?
Yeah, most things.
Most things.
Yeah, I would say majority.
when did real talk, man, when did that happen?
That happened. So my brother passed away about 2 years ago, and so
Sorry to hear that.
no, that's okay.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
time.
yeah, and that's okay. And for me, it's so strange because there's nothing like death to teach you how to live. That's the weird thing. And then I just started realizing, like, all these things that I thought about, you know, all the things that I held dear, like, when I'm gone, like, what is it going to matter? You know, like, what difference does it make? Like, I know now the things that I think about when it comes to my brother is like, you know, I wonder what he was thinking about. I wonder what he wanted to do, you know. I wonder what made him sad, like really sad, like not the stuff that he didn't tell people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wonder what made him happy. And I thought, imagine if we could just be openly vulnerable. I'm just so much more interested in that idea now.
Yeah.
Not having to pretend.
Yeah. And so you've been in this new journey.
Yeah.
For the last, what, let's say 2 years, maybe?
I'd say for the last two and a half years.
But you've still maintained your job as a celebrity stylist.
Yes.
Are you trying to do anything different with what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of youth work, and I often go to schools and talk to kids about alternative careers and the power of believing yourself and mindfulness, and even maybe sort of new age things like meditation. I see the huge benefits of that kind of stuff, and that stuff has changed my life.
So you do it as well?
Oh, 100%. How could you not?
A lot of people I've spoke to meditate. I mean, Mr. C as well.
Oh, really?
Director. Yeah,
amazing.
And I think because a lot of us that are self-starters, that are doers, we go through a lot in our mind every second of the day, and then there needs to be times where we shut off Is that what it was? Did you need?
Yeah,
do you need to shut your mind off?
You do.
You got ADD, like you said.
Yeah,
innit?
exactly. So my mind is very overactive, and I think one of the worst things and the most tragic things we do as humans is to believe our own minds sometimes, because our own minds are filled with the voices of other people.
Yeah.
You know, they're filled with your parents' thoughts, or what your friends are gonna think, or what your girlfriend or boyfriend's gonna think, and like all of this stuff. It's not you, so it's important to sort of silence the mind.
Yeah.
To think straight,
Yeah.
you know, and to take away some of the voices and hear your own a bit clearer.
How has this new mindset helped with your work?
Oh, in many ways, it's given it purpose. It's given it a sense of, okay, this is going somewhere. A platform that I have, I now know what I can do with it. For me, anybody who has any amount of following, whether that be 300 to 400, like, or 300,000, I'm just sort of like, that's 300 people for whatever reason are interested in stuff that you have to say, like, you know, so you can do stuff with that, you know, we can, I don't know, sorry, it's just a mind-boggling concept to me that people are openly following us. You know what I mean? They are following what we are doing. Like, it has. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
got
cool,
a bit
man.
confused.
We'll talk. So, what you say is interesting that people are interested in our life and our output.
Yeah.
And so once we're aware of that, there's power in that.
Yes,
and we can choose to either add to the bullshit of the world, or we can choose to do something half decent with it.
100%. Like, for me, like, sometimes I can get a bit disillusioned with the way certain things are, because I think to myself, you know, a lot of celebrities, they have huge platforms, and they have the power, you know, to affect things. They have great influence. You know, you notice it. Kanye West buys, you know, a beige camel coat. Everyone has a camel coat. You know what I mean? Everyone has a Camel Mac now. That's just the thing. So imagine if, like, Kanye tweeted one day, say hi to a stranger. Everyone will be saying hi to strangers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or if Beyonce tweeted, like, help an old lady out with her bags today, everyone will be fighting to find this old lady with the bags.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone will help the same old lady.
Literally.
She'll have no bags in her hand.
Literally.
People will be giving her piggy banks.
Exactly. So it's not even having to say anything that's political or really out there, but just nice things.
So do you think, just like in the Spider-Man film, with great power comes great responsibility?
Oh yeah, it does.
So you think these celebs have a social responsibility to encourage the betterment of humanity?
I
don't they, like, for example, Kanye West and Beyonce, right? Don't you think they do that at times with the messages in their music? Sometimes their music will negate that totally, but sometimes it's like Kanye West, although he speaks some stuff that people would think is wrong, he's number one, he's speaking his truths, right? And his overall message, from what I get, is one of struggle to be accepted and noticed.
I want everyone to be able to speak their truth. And, you know, it's been interesting looking at the way that people have responded to Kanye's message, you know, and it's got people talking, and I'm happy about
Which
that.
message? Or his general message?
Or his general, you know, or I guess the things that he's been saying, I don't even know what to call it. He's just been telling people his truth, his experience within this industry. And that's made people talk about things. That's made people address things like institutional racism, or, you know, consumerist habits, and things like that, which is good. I mean, I do think with Kanye, he's just an interesting man, you know. I don't know where I sit with his whole thing, and whether I buy into it. You know, I think he's got a point, but sometimes I feel like, for me, it's an ego a bit much. You know,
and he's the first to admit that.
Yeah, exactly. All Falls Down, that song lyrically will tell you everything, who he is, and exactly why he's doing what he is doing right now. And that's on his first album. So he's very self-aware. I don't know if I'd say artists have a social responsibility, because, you know what, if you don't want to do anything, I'm not going to be someone who tells you have to do anything that you don't want to do. But I'm very interested as to why you wouldn't want to. You know, when people have allowed you to have a career. You know, you don't exist in isolation. people buying your records and buying into your merchandise and buying into your whole brand allows a certain lifestyle for these people. And I don't get why you wouldn't want to give something back. Which is interesting for me, but I wouldn't say anyone needs to. No, if that's not who you are, then okay.
This is true, man. You talked about spending a lot of time alone. Do you work alone? Do you have an assistant?
Yeah, I have.
Actually, how long have you been styling for?
Okay, so I've been styling for about 4.5 years. And at first, actually, I worked with Louise. When we first started, or when I first started this business, it was Ayisha and Louise. And I ran this business with someone else. And it was great. And that's how I kind of made my entry into this.
So it was you and Louise that were working on styling Labrinth?
Yeah, we were working on styling.
Was that the connect to Labrinth?
It was, because her brother managed him.
Yeah.
And that's how we met. Does
he still manage Labrinth?
Yeah, he still does.
Okay.
And so that's how we met. And that was great, because she was like my best friend. She was many, many things to me. So we understood each other and we got each other very well. In the end, it ended up not being something that she could really see herself progressing in or wanting to build in.
Styling in general, or styling with you?
Probably a bit of both, to be fair. At the time,
yeah.
Like, to be fair, probably a little bit of both. But I don't know, Louise is probably like one of the smartest people I've ever met, like, and I just think she wanted something where she could affect people more. Right now I have one assistant called Harry, who, bless him, I absolutely love him, because he has to put up with a lot from me. My scatterbrain, my frequent rants about racism and injustice that are daily, you know, and I can tell, you know, sometimes it must be uncomfortable.
Is he
for
black?
Him. No, he's white.
Yes,
yeah. And so I'm sure sometimes I'm talking about concepts that he's never even considered. But what I'm actually loving at the moment is I go on his Twitter now, and like he's just as angsty as me, and I'm just like, it's like I feel like a proud mother.
Are you proud, or do you feel guilt?
No, I did feel a little bit of guilt at first, because I didn't want to destroy anyone's worldview. This is my truth, and this is how I perceive the world to be.
But if you're passionate about it, it's hard to hold shit down.
Yeah, it is hard to hold shit down. And I'm not trying, you know, he works with me, so we see each other every day. And if I have to suppress who I am every day, I can't live like that. You know what I mean?
You got to be yourself.
I
That's
have
your
to
world
be myself,
as well.
you know. So if he's taken things from it that resonate with him, then good for him.
Okay, so there's two of you.
Yeah, there's two of us.
So it's still basically you. And can we call Harry your PA? Is your assistant?
Harry's my assistant, yeah.
He's your assistant. How long has he been working with you?
Harry's been with me for about a year and a half. And Harry's been with me for like a year.
He's been with you for a year. But you have been working with other people prior to Harry?
Yes, I've had other assistants.
So did Harry approach you, or did you put message out that you're looking for assistant? Because I love to find out how people hustle their jobs, man.
So Harry actually was assisting another stylist that I know and respect, and I know that stylist in particular. His name's Carl Willett. He is Paloma Faith stylist. I know he works super hard, and that he's incredible at what he does. And I thought if he had Harry around him for as long as he did, then Harry must be worth his salt. And I think Harry wanted to get into a lot more menswear, which is predominantly what I do. So he made the recommendation, the other stylist, and I took Harry on, and we've been great since. Like, it's probably been one of the easiest working relationships that I've ever had.
So are you his paymaster, or is he just getting experience with you? You don't have to answer this, because I will ask those questions.
He's getting experience from me, and now he's also getting paid. At first, it wasn't really much money. But I don't believe in making people work completely for free. I think that's some bullshit. Like, if you appreciate what anyone's doing for you on any level, then you show you have some fucking respect. Like, and so for me, I may not have always been in a position to be able to have paid him. So, but you know, if it's clothes, you know, I get discount in a lot of places. I get a lot of things sent to me for free. Do you know what I mean? And if something doesn't fit, if something doesn't work, there are so many ways that you can show someone that you appreciate their help. And that's what keeps them loyal. Because I meet a lot of interns that hate their bosses. You know what I mean? Even though it's the industry they want to be in, they absolutely hate the people that they're working for, and they don't respect them at all, because there isn't any respect shown on towards the interns. And I know without Harry and a lot of interns that have worked for me, lots of shit wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? And so just because I may be the one getting the paycheck, like, it's definitely a team effort. And I think when people get to this stage, I think, with their job sometimes where they get this ego and they get this thing where they think, okay, well, I've been doing this for so long, I'm justified in talking to people like shit. I can do this. And I believe that those are the people who have allowed their job to validate them. And because my job doesn't validate me, I felt great before my job, I'll feel great after it, you know, so it doesn't matter. You know, this styling thing it doesn't make me, you know, so anybody who's giving me help, you should be able to reward them in some way, and I have a real problem with those.
It's a beautiful way of working, man.
Yeah, and they're loyal to you that way. They're loyal to you that way because they see that you've got their best interest. With Harry now, we've worked together for so long. Anything that he needs, Harry will definitely be a stylist. He will be a stylist in the same way that I am, and I will make sure of that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, with another random question out of the blue, right? Is there a plan with what you're doing? Or are you just using styling as a way to make a living? Is there a massive picture?
Yeah, there is. There is a grand picture, and that.
Are we allowed to know? Because not everyone likes to speak it out.
Yeah, I don't know because it's still right. I don't know if I know how to put it into exact words yet, but I've started to stop thinking of myself as a stylist. When I was thinking of myself as a stylist, it was very limiting, and it also took me a long time to call myself a stylist. For a long time, I didn't have that on my bios, my social bios. I didn't have stylist.
It was the same with me and comic.
Yeah, I don't know why it felt.
You didn't feel worthy?
Yes, I didn't feel worthy, if I'm honest. And it almost came too quickly. And I almost thought that, you know...
You have to do this in order to say all that.
Yeah, exactly. I did have a lot of that. And I thought because I'm a stylist, I now can't do this, that and this. So now I take the term stylist off of me. And how I think about myself in my mind... as I like to think of myself as an artist, and I think we're all artists as beings.
Yeah.
We all are. We're all creating art daily by the things that we say. And as an artist, you can be anything. You can do a multitude of things. And so everything that I thought about doing as a kid, everything that made sense to me there is part of my plan now and is all the things that I'm going to do. And it includes writing. Writing is a huge part.
You write anyway, Aisha. Your tweets, that is writing. Even if they're 140 characters, you are writing pieces of information and putting it out to the world.
Well, I think there's an art of Twitter. There is and my timeline now when I read it, Twitter used to be a really scary place for me. A really, really scary place because it was a place that I didn't understand. I've only started using it actively like maybe this last year and a half, because I'd go on there and people would be talking about all this music I hadn't heard, and I would feel really insecure. I'd feel like, why don't I know the new Rick Ross song?
I need to be plugged in. I need
Do you know what I mean? Why don't I know that? Or like, I don't know how to shuffle, or whatever it may be. Like,
can you shuffle now?
I can shuffle now. I'll show you that in a bit. And so I didn't. This place, I felt like I wasn't connecting to it.
Yeah.
And then when I started, I don't know, finding people outside of my networks, outside of the people that I knew, poets and writers that just express themselves. Twitter, like, again, has been something that saved my life. You know, these people that I've never met are some of my best friends. You know, like, I have Twitter exclusively for them because through that, you know, I see that other people kind of feel the same way and are using their voice and are using their words for the greater good of things. So, sorry, I forgot the question. This happens a lot.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. I mean, I've got what I need from the answer.
Oh, okay,
but yeah,
cool.
No, it was basically, wait a minute, maybe I have forgot the question.
No, I do this.
Yeah, no, we do this. No, we're going to get to this. I'm not leaving the room until I realise what I asked you. It was about Twitter. It was about, before that it was about, that was it. No, it was the master plan.
The master plan, yeah. So there are so many things that I want to do, that I'm going to do. And so I don't think of myself as a stylist. I think of myself as an artist. And I don't think it's anything arrogant or egotistical. I think anyone can think of themselves as an artist. And when you think of yourself...
Most artists are broke.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So when you do, but you're just limitless. You're not boxing yourself into one thing. But I think writing is going to be an element that I focus on a lot next year, that I hope to share with people a lot more. Because it's only through other people leaving their stories and writing that's given me the confidence to really be who I am.
Yeah. Excellent, man. And you said you want to get into DJing as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, what's all that about, man?
Okay, well, DJing is something that I've always wanted to do. And I remember being like 10, 11 and begging my mum for decks every Christmas, every Christmas. But my mum being...
Was it the music or the perceived lifestyle that a DJ
It was the music. I loved hip-hop. I'm a hip-hop purist. Absolutely love it. And that is another thing that I really connected to. It's probably the first thing I connected to as a young person was hip-hop. And I couldn't rap. I tried. Yeah. I definitely tried to rap.
Yeah, but doesn't it go to the whole... It comes back to what we've talked about earlier on, like, as an artist.
Yeah.
You can rap if you rap and say that this is rap.
Yeah, exactly.
That is rap.
You can.
But it may not be good in the way you order it in your mind.
Yeah.
The hierarchy of good and shit rap.
Yeah,
down there with the shit rap. But it's still rap.
It's still
so you
rap.
can rap.
Exactly. So maybe I can, but maybe I just don't do it in the way that the world has said is cool. Yeah. But DJing to me, just because I love music, you know, it's just something that makes sense to me. Like, and you know, when I've just been a bedroom DJ to my friends, and when my friends say, "Oh, what song is that?" or I really like that. I like how it makes me feel, or that is such a great feeling. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't think there's many things in the world that I necessarily am thrilled about, you know, but music and the arts are the only things for me that just make everything worth it. So
it's total freedom.
It's total freedom. Like, music is a spiritual thing. You know, it's a very spiritual thing to me. It really is. Like, it has the power to bring people together who would never generally mix. You know, people, like, for me, my memories are caught up in melodies. You know, like, I remember things by hearing a song. You know,
it puts you in a position. It puts me in the place where I first experienced the song. Properly in my mind. Like, when I enjoyed the song and I look around, and then I'd leave that moment, and then like a month later I'd hear the song. I'm like, whoa, this reminds me of that place, or that experience with that person. Hello. So
I always wanted to do it, but my mum being Nigerian and me being a girl, you know, that just wasn't serious. That wasn't a lawyer, a doctor, or an accountant, or an engineer. So she just never took it. Exactly. So she just never took it seriously. But now I'm in a position where I can take it seriously.
Because you are your own woman.
I'm going to do that. And so hopefully I'll share mixes with the world.
Do it, man. When you're looking to do that, and I'll help push them out.
Oh, please.
Even if you're clanging.
Oh, amazing. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. Let's say mid 2015.
Mid 2015. That's when you probably put your first mix out.
I think
but you're going to
so.
toy around with the idea prior.
Yeah, of course.
Because what I'm doing, like, I've got these decks here. It's something I've been toying with for ages, but I just haven't had the time to zone in and do it seriously. But I'm starting to take lessons from one of my friends.
Okay,
He's
amazing,
quite sick, man.
amazing. I need his number.
You need to maybe come and sit in on a few.
Yes, I think so.
He's a lovely dude, man.
Okay, cool.
Massimo. And I met him at Apple. This is the great thing about meeting people as well. If you just go out and do things, that's where you meet him. And I met him at a garage band free tutorial in Apple Westfield, and then he come and spoke to me later. He said, "What do you do?" I told him. He said he's a DJ for 8 years. He's just moved over here and he wants to learn. He wants to kind of get out. And I said, "Look, I'll help you with personal branding." And he's like, "Yeah, cool, Rubes. I'll help you with the basics of DJ." And I'm like, "Yeah, man,
nice.
Let's do it." It's a great way to exchange of skills.
Exactly.
Right?
I think that's how, in my ideal utopian world, that's how it would work. We wouldn't have money. It'd just be skills that we exchange. You know, it'd just all be trading. That's how we need to take it back to.
It's
trading.
So true. Trading as opposed to a capitalist society.
Literally, like, we just need to trade, man.
That's a great way of connecting with people.
100%.
You know? It's like when I go out and meet people. Now, in order to get connected to somebody, there may be something I may want, but I don't ask. The first thing I do, I was like, "Yo, can I help?" And that way, for the most part, they say yeah, and I help, and then later on, they'll help me out.
Yeah.
Is that how you connect? How do you? Because I know you work. It's yourself and Harry.
Yeah.
And you're not an OTT extrovert. Let's be.
No, not.
Do you know what I mean? You can't. I'm sure you can, but you don't just walk into a room and speak to everyone.
Oh no.
Trying to make connections.
That's like.
So how do you connect and get new jobs and all that kind of shit?
Just by being myself. I would say, like, I wouldn't say that I'm the best stylist in the world or anything like that. I would say, like, with styling and many creative jobs and just success in general, I would say, like, maybe 20% is about your ability, and the rest of it is how well you can get on in the world and how well you deal with people, and
80%
I would say it's likability.
with humans.
Yeah, I would say it's 100%, because I know loads of people who an incredible stylist or incredible creatives, but their attitude, they may have this attitude of the world owes them something, you know, and that will hold them back. Or they may not be very motivated, and stuff like that. Like, I don't actually think talent counts for much, actually. I think talent is really overrated, actually.
Yeah, I'm saying talent is 10-20%.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
And talent often is something that is natural, is innate. You know, it's not necessarily something you always even have to work on. If you're just talented naturally, then that's just, you've been gifted in that sense. But things like patience or being kind to people, being generous, being honest, these are almost things that you have to learn, you know, that probably should be celebrated a lot more than things that are just, you know, luck of the gene pool. You know, so I'd say a lot of it is just probably about daring to be myself. You know, and it doesn't always feel comfortable. I can't lie.
So are you saying that's a constant battle?
Yeah, 100%.
No matter how confident you are in your own skin, do you think everyone is continuously battling with it?
Oh, 100%. I think so.
No one would ever reach total confidence and enlightenment.
Well, I think the more you can kind of not care what people think, which is a really hard prison to remove yourself from. It really is. But the better you get at it, the easier
life becomes.
Yeah, the easier life becomes. And you just do what you want to do. And like, I go out. I don't really go to events. I really hate events, actually, just because I don't like the idea of networking. And like,
a lot of it is putting your representative forward.
And I just kind of feel like, you know what? I'll go out. And if someone looks interesting and they seem like they're someone I want to speak to, then I'll speak to them, not because of what I think they may do or how they may help me. If they can help me in any way and I can help them, great. But really and truly, I just want to connect to someone. But I have a problem in being in places where I know that it's all about what we can do for each other. I would rather just hand out business cards and say, this is what I do. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And roll out. Otherwise, you know, it's just that whole small talk thing. I find that stuff really difficult.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree. Although we could say I've become better at it simply because wherever I go now, for the most part, I am being myself. And so people may come and speak to me, or I can speak to them without it looking like I'm after something. I'm just there being me and just rolling out.
That's
and
the
if
best
it connects,
way.
it connects, right?
Yeah, that is the best way, to just be yourself. And I think that's noticeable to the right people. And they'll attract, you know, like attracts like. So I'd say, even though I haven't been out, I've probably been like the biggest loner I've ever been in my life this year, and not been out much at all. But I've met so many great people. I've connected with just the rare times that I do go out. I just meet, you know, amazingness. It's great.
I know there's a lot of stylists that will probably be listening to this as time goes by, and we'll probably be working out how to make this full time, how to keep money coming in. Do you have a business advisor, or have you had to learn business yourself?
I've kind of had to learn it myself. I'd still say I'm struggling with it. There's so many adult concepts that I still don't understand. You know what I mean? I still don't quite understand how insurance works, and many things in life that you just need to know. I do have an accountant. I wouldn't say he's my business advisor, but for me, I actually don't know how my bills get paid each month. I never know what.
Seriously,
I still don't ever know. Like, it could end all today. Literally everything could end today. But
Funnily enough, it never has.
I've just never worried about money, and I really feel that that's helped me because I've just always assumed that I'm gonna just be okay. You know, and because I don't really understand money, you know, all this stuff, budgeting, this, that. I don't understand that world. I don't want to have to think about having to spend this amount.
Do you know, that surprises me, because I thought you would have.
Oh no, I don't want to think about it.
I really did, you know, Aisha. I really thought you were ridiculously ordered. You had all these tally sheets, and you have like financial aims.
Not at all. I just try not to buy anything that I don't need. Anything. So I try really hard not to want things. I'd say my money mainly probably goes on eating out.
You really do dine out a lot. You've always done it.
I've done that a lot, and taxis. Apart from that, like, I'm against senseless consumerism. You know what I mean? So I'm not buying things that I don't need, especially when I know there are some people getting them for free. You know what I mean? Which shows me, further illustrates how disposable these things are, and how much illegal profit these people are making. You know what I mean? So I'm not buying it if people are getting it for free. I'm going to put myself in a position where I can be one of those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's probably, I think I'm very driven by the fear of being a tramp. And when I say being a tramp, I just mean being homeless. I'm very much someone who could be homeless because I don't understand that world.
Yeah.
So I just work a lot, so I never have to think about it. I don't know how much my phone bill costs.
Yeah.
I don't know how much loads of things cost.
Yeah.
I just always make sure I have enough so I don't have to think about it.
Right, man.
I don't know I don't know. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know if this
that
sounds...
does answer the question.
Yeah.
It does. But then what that tells me is that you're always moving.
Yes.
And so my next question would be, how the hell do you switch off? If you're always working, plus you have ADD.
Yeah.
And you're working towards a master plan. Yeah, okay. Other than meditation. And you don't tend to go out a lot.
No.
So you're not partying, you're not drinking too
skate.
tough. Do you drink?
No.
Okay.
I
skateboard?
Yeah, I skateboard, and that's
as a
great.
mode of transport, or just, you know what, let me
transport and for fun. As a mode of transport and just...
Because, you know what, it's funny actually, guys. I'm walking down Bond Street one day, and it's Ram on Bond Street.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was sales. And there you are to have the audacity to be skating down Bond Street. Do you remember when I met you?
I
picked
think
up your
so.
skateboard?
Literally, I think I've got a lot of small woman privilege, and so I just kind of think I can fit into any gaps that other people can't. So I completely take advantage of that, completely.
Yeah.
And the fact that I look young, much younger than I am, I think
people give you bligh, don't
people
they?
give me a lot of blighs. So I'll just...
You've played the cards that you've been dealt. You've played them so fucking well, man.
100%.
The fact that you look and sound different, your size and everything, like you really do it really, really well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I don't know, skating for me, that's a way of releasing and switching off. Music, writing, and just spending time alone. You know.
Do you travel a lot?
No, not half as much as I'd like to. And that is part of the plan. That's part of the master plan. Travel is in there.
Why?
Because it's important. Like travel is the only thing you buy that makes you richer. You know. I really think so in terms of awareness, experience, you know, feelings, you know. Anything, most things you buy is actually stealing from yourself. Most things, but travel is that
why
one.
Do you say that?
Okay, because if anything you don't need that you buy, you've just robbed yourself.
Yeah, of money.
Of money.
Yeah.
So if you're buying things that you don't need, because people are telling you should have it, or if you have it, you're gonna feel like this and blah blah blah. That's just stealing. Like the thing is, we can all be wealthy people. We just spend less. You know, that's literally it. Just spend less. It sounds, obviously it's a lot harder in theory because, you know, you're being advertised to all the time. But I wouldn't say that I just think that sorry, Reuben.
No, sir.
It's because we're speaking a lot. I just think that people need to just spend less. Spend less.
You do a lot of stuff by yourself, right? There's you and Harry, and there's you in the realms of your mind, working out your life's purpose and stuff. Would you say that you work separately from the fashion industry? Do you do you feel that you work in the fashion industry?
No, I don't. I feel like I work in music. If there's any industry that I work in, I feel like I work in the music industry. Okay. Yeah, and so because most of my clients are music based. Yeah. So, no, I think, I'm completely separate from fashion. I'm aware of what's happening there, but it's not maybe what I'm inspired by. I'm just inspired by life and people and expression and things like that.
You're full of artists, I guess, so maybe you're drawn towards...
because I like music, and that's probably where the need to DJ comes from. And it's a way of me combining the things that I genuinely love. The fashion world, I don't feel like... It's not that I don't fit there. It doesn't move me in the same way. You know, like with the fashion thing, I think a lot of the times I've met people from it and it can seem like quite pretentious, you know, and it can seem like people aren't very nice to each other a lot of the time, and a lot of the things that it propels, like it perpetuates a lot of, you know, a one-dimensional understanding of what beauty is. And I find that problematic. It's
disgusting, man.
It's very problematic. It's horrible. You know, women are made to feel like their size is not okay, their bodies are not okay. Like, I'm just very much about not playing into anything that tells me who I am is not right. And that's pretty much a lot of the world when you think about it. So fashion completely leaves out me, you know what I mean, and people who look like me and that sort of representation. So why would I fuel it?
Yeah, man.
You know, When it comes to me doing my own editorial work, then maybe I would do it through the ways that I see, I don't know, the representations I want to see. So I want to see people who are not stick thin, because not everybody's attracted to that. And I want to see people who have
a bit of meat, mate.
Yeah, I want to see
Something
people
rare,
with
baby.
different types of hair and different types of complexions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to see more variation. So that's probably what doesn't attract me to the fashion world as much.
So with your styling work, the creative process. So say for example you've got a shoot, or you're working with a new client and you need to create a new image for them. Do you go out, and I ask this to everybody, do you go out and research what's currently there, or do you just start?
I just kind of start. I mean, I'll listen to, whenever I get a new client, you know, I'll listen to the music, we'll have conversations. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Who are you inspired by? What do you want people to feel about you? You know, what is the message? And from there, that's generally enough for me to kind of make a basis on what area of styling I need to go down for their target audience, for them, and age, all these things you take into consideration. I don't often look at fashion much because, again, it's fleeting, it changes too quickly. So if I make someone really trendy as opposed to stylish, what about when that trend passes and now you're going to be seen as late, you know what I mean? Or you're still doing that, you know? So I'd rather just do things. That's probably why a lot of my work is quite sartorial, which I want to pull back from, because I don't know, that's not the only thing that I can do, but it was just more about creating things that are timeless.
All right, we've been speaking for an hour, and I'm always aware once we go over an hour that the person just wants to not look at me in my face anymore.
Yeah, no worries.
You were talking about, before we go, you were talking about future plans. All right, you said music, and
writing.
and writing and being a voice for the betterment of people. You also mentioned a podcast.
Yes.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, so I've been approached by a great company recently who I guess they've heard a little bit about what I want to do and where I want to take things, and I guess they believe in the message, which is lovely, and so they've given me a space to kind of come up with my own show, my own podcast show, and I'm still kind of working out the format and the ideas and stuff, but I'll be talking about many things that I'm passionate about, from style to media to celebrity culture to hip hop to, I don't know, economics, you know, spirituality.
There's a platform for you to put your voice out there.
And bring along people that I believe to be inspirational and people that I think people should hear from. And that could be a cab driver. I think I have the most insightful conversations with cab drivers.
Listen, I'm telling you.
There's something about,
have changed my life.
telling you, like, there's something about speaking to someone who has no idea who you are. And you can just have so much more honest conversations, maybe because there's no judgment. They don't know anything else about you. So I feel like I can be a lot more open with them. And half the reason why I wanted to write, actually, my first book that I ever write one day will probably be about being in a taxi. You know what I mean? And all the experiences that I've had through that. Sorry. Again.
No, that was it. That was what the podcast kind of was.
Yeah, the podcast. So it's gonna cover all of that kind of stuff. So that will be 2015. So
all right, last question before you go. It's about the process and you being a stylist at present, for the stylists that are listening that aren't deep into, I don't know, enlightenment in life. With you getting new clients, you may be aware that someone's looking for a new look. Do you say, hello, I'm Ayishat, I've done this work, here's my business card if you want to speak to me? Do you actively open up conversation?
No, the universe has been so kind to me, and
everyone's been coming to you.
I've always had angels working for me, ever since I was a kid, and I don't know why, and I have no idea, but I'm so grateful. So as much as sometimes I can be disillusioned with things, like, you know, I think when you try to do good, and that doesn't mean I'm always nice and I don't have a temper sometimes, but I don't know, I always just try and put people first, and I feel like the universe has been kind to me for that. You know, I've always tried to consider people's feelings at the very least, and luckily so far everybody's come to me, and I've been really blessed for that. But there are instances sometimes where I'll meet someone who may not be that famous yet, and I'll just love what they do, and I will approach them and
Yeah.
I will say to them like,
Oh,
let
so
me
there
work
are
with
times you do it.
Yeah. But they're normally not even famous. They're normally not signed. They're
just
normally not.
someone you like the energy
Yes,
of.
I like the
they're putting
energy
out.
of, and so you can do it that way as well. There have been times like this year actually. I went through a dry spell at the beginning of the year, and oh my god, it was the scariest thing ever. I actually thought everyone's found out that I don't know what I'm doing. It's over. It's a wrap. Like my career's over, because I was just quiet for like 3 months, and I'd never been through that stage before, and it was the scariest time ever, where I was considering literally new job prospects. Like, what am I going to do now? And at that point, because it was scary, I was emailing people. I was talking to record labels, and I was sending them my work, and I was letting them know that I'm here, this is what I do, and blah blah blah. And I didn't actually get any. I didn't really get anywhere with that.
No
But
replies.
Not really, but I think what happens, or what I've now learned, because I haven't been doing this for very long, so I don't exactly know when the quiet moments occur and stuff.
Because you've been so busy doing it.
Yeah, so now I know that like the beginning of the year is generally like music is not thriving at that point.
Why is that?
I don't actually know. I don't know if it's like, I think summer and Christmas is when music seems to thrive, because people are going for the summer hits, you know what I mean, and festivals and things like that. Whereas at the beginning of the year, it's not. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a key area of interest for marketing purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Well, listen, Ash, thank you
No, thank
for coming
you,
down and
Reuben.
putting up with me. I appreciate that.
No,
man.
thanks.
And I wish you the best of luck with
Oh,
whatever the hell you're going to be doing. Whether
man.
that changes tomorrow and you're a cook. Or you're,
Thank
I
you
don't
very
know, washing
much.
ants, man. But if you ever need help with anything,
Oh, of course.
straight up, shout me.
Anytime.
And you need to meet Massimo.
Massimo,
The
yes,
DJ
the
guy.
DJ.
I'm gonna hook you up. He's
Shout out
just
to Massimo.
gone. Shout out Massimo Litelli, I believe his second name. He's just in Italy at the moment. He's
Okay.
gonna come back, and you're welcome to just sit in.
Yeah,
because
I'd love
the way
to.
he explains basics is so good, man.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
I'd
like,
absolutely
you can just
love
learn
to.
the basics, and as per usual, like me and you are, then we just go off and do our own thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
All good. Bing Bing Bongo Inna the Congo. That was Aisha, see? Lovely thinker, right? Ayishat AKANBI. You can check her out on Twitter. It's Ayishat_AKANBI, AYISHAT_AKANBI. And that's the same on Instagram. That's Ayishat_AKANBI on Instagram as well. And her Tumblr is AyishatAKANBI.tumblr.com. Tumblr spelled TUMBLR.com. Garment composer, freelance stylist, spiritual thinker, potential DJ, and just all-round doer of herself, which I love. Love personalities like that. Absolutely love them. And what I found interesting about Aisha is, like, with styling, she just says, I'm going to get up and I'm going to be a stylist. Now it's the same with DJing. Now it's the same with her podcast or a blog that she wants to kind of get out as she moves forward. And it's all in her name. I can be what I want to be. I can be. Thank you. I'd like a trademark on that. Some money, please, Aisha. Check her out. And guys, tune in for another episode soon. I've been Reuben Christian. Check out my stuff, ReubenChristian.com. All social handles /Reuben Christian. I have an Instagram, which is ReubenChristian. It's Reuben Christian 1. That's what it is. And yeah, keep doing you, please. Stop being worried. Stop thinking tomorrow's yours. Let's get up and let's do something. And enjoy your life further, because I know you are already. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Find out what you're here to do and go and do that. Because before you know it, you're gonna be dead. Aren't you? And you know that I know that you know it's the truth. Come on, get up. Do you, please. Thank you.